Diego, genial, genial, genial. Tocó para Valdano, entró Maradona, para el intervención, vamos. ¡Gol! ¡Gol!
Good afternoon, my name is Roberto Pacheco. I'm a Senior Library Technical Assistant in the Green Library in the Reference Department at the Modesto Maidí campus, and I've been asked by the folks at LACC to talk a little bit about the Hand of God goal in the 1986 World Cup. Backstory, England and Argentina have a historic rivalry. Argentina was part of what scholars call Britain's informal empire. They introduced the game of soccer to Argentina. In fact, I found a document in the archives which from 1870 something where a port official received a bunch of soccer balls and he didn't know how to record them, and so he basically wrote down on the ledger Cosas locas de los ingleses, crazy things of the British. It was for the St. Andrews School of Buenos Aires, the destination. So England and Argentina have a historic rivalry. Also in soccer in '66, there was a famous match at the '66 World Cup in England where things got heated up and an Argentine player was expelled from the game, and then he stormed off the field, apparently disgraced the British flag and stomped on the red carpet and was called by the British manager at the end of the game. He referred to the Argentine as animals. So this is some of the background to the soccer rivalry. There's also, of course, the geopolitical rivalry that culminates in the War of the Falkland Islands, which is the immediate background to the game itself. The game is a quarterfinal game played before almost 115,000 people in Mexico City's legendary Azteca Stadium. It was a hot, humid day, and Argentina dominated most of the game, but however, it wasn't until the 51st minute where Maradona scores the Hand of God goal. It was obviously very controversial. The players disputed it on the field. There was no technology to challenge the play, and the goal stood. The goal gets its name because in a post-match interview, Maradona is asked about the goal, and he says, well, a little bit was the head of Maradona and a little bit was the hand of God. And that's how the goal gets its name. The second Argentina goal is legendary because Maradona basically weaves his way through almost the entire English team and scores to make the game 2-1. So that's a little bit about the game. To get back to the Hand of God goal, the Hand of God goal was really not only important because of what it represented in the game, it was also symbolic of what Argentines viewed as revenge for the defeat in the Falkland Islands War a few years earlier, about 4 years earlier. In fact, Maradona said this to a British journalist: although we said before the game that football had nothing to do with the Malvinas War, we knew they had killed a lot of Argentine boys there, and this was revenge. This is Maradona being quoted by a British journalist in The Observer. The match was basically Argentina's way of beating their colonial masters at their own game. There's that expression, beating them at their own game. Well, this was Argentina's way of beating their colonial masters at their own game. And soccer has that quality in the developing world. It's a way for countries in the global south to exert some dominance over their former European overlords. Another famous Argentine player said this, the late great Roberto Pacheco, who died a few years ago and was captain of Argentina's squads in the 70s. He said, in 1986, winning that game against England was enough. Winning the World Cup was secondary for us. Beating England was our real aim. And this goal, the Hand of God goal, is what opened the way for Argentina's victory against England, and it represented a time of great happiness for the Argentine people. They were coming off a military dictatorship, and now they were celebrating a World Cup victory in large part to Maradona, who was voted the tournament's most valuable player, and of course the two memorable goals, including the Hand of God goal scored during this quarterfinal game on June 22nd, 1986.